On at last. There we are.
Thanks,
coming from the same country, and you've had such a tremendous career over the last few years.
Well, I'm paying the rent, Terry.
Yeah.
You don't mind the jeans? I feel really uncomfortable with these.
And it's all very most attractive.
It's a sad indictment of our times, I think.
It is. I hadn't realised...
These jeans are more expensive now than they were 3 years ago when I bought them. So.
Yeah, but then even more because you've worn them, you see. You could get quite a price for them.
Yes,
now,
and it's...
on the open market in Ballymena.
These are my wear stains, too. You know,
yeah,
so
yeah. I thought that was a little passé, the tear in the jeans. Is it not? Yeah. What do you know?
What does passé?
Had you got a conventional upbringing in Ballymena, or...?
I had, yeah, and a very wonderful one too, very secure, very loving,
and then you went, did you go to university? You did?
I went to Queen's...
dropped out?
Yeah, Queen's University for a year, and it was a very abortive year for me. I just became a vegetable. The discipline of school had gone. I had no schoolmasters over me saying, you must do that homework. Suddenly it was all freedom. And I just couldn't cope with it. I just couldn't cope with it.
Did you drift for a few years after that?
I didn't really drift. I went back to Ballymena and I got various jobs. I was a forklift truck driver and reprographic assistant, which sounds very posh and special, which was making prints for architects. And then I went to a teacher training college in Newcastle upon Tyne for 2 years. Didn't finish that either, but, you know.
Had you aspirations to join the priesthood?
As a child, I entertained the idea. I liked the drama of it. I liked the robes and the mystery and the celebration of the Mass, and because it was very theatrical, you know.
Yes.
And incense and candles and
the rubrics.
And very romantic too, actually.
Yeah.
So.
But then actually you've played a priest.
Twice.
In Lamb, you were a priest or a brother? Which?
I was a Christian brother.
Christian brother, yeah.
Yeah.
And then in the mission, of course, you were a missionary.
Yeah, Jesuit.
Jesuit missionary. Yeah.
So I feel I've been a priest.
You fulfilled it.
Yeah. And my mother was very proud. So
let me ask. Well, she's had 2 careers. You've been the priest, which every Irish mother is supposed to want.
Sure.
And then you've been a successful actor as well. You worked with Jeremy Irons and Robert De Niro in.
Robert De who, Terry?
Well, I mean, I can never pronounce the man's name. I mean, it's like dynasty and dynasty. Nero, is it?
I remember being at a function and you were giving out awards, the Variety Club of Great Britain, and at that time they were honouring Brideshead Revisited, and Terry was presenting an award, and he said, and now the award for, I think it was Best Actor, goes to Brideshead Regurgitated. Whereupon Jeremy Irons came up on stage to get this award and said, thank you, Mr. Wigan. So do you remember that?
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
So
we don't speak now, Jeremy and me.
I don't speak to him either. I don't see him. So.
I know. And he's married to an Irish girl as well.
He is indeed. Yeah. And a very fine one, too.
Yeah. Now, we could easily get off into a little conversation of our own that wouldn't interest anybody else. Now, this Robert De Niro person, a great actor. Did you learn? Do you learn anything from working with somebody like that?
It's hard not to, Terry. There's working with very gifted and very talented people. Something rubs off on you, and you know, you don't sit down and make notes. You know, it's like but something rubs off. You kind of absorb something. You absorb something of the feeling of. And the commitment of them, and certainly with Robert, I learned a lot about preparation. And someone famous, I don't know who it was, once said, "Preparation, preparation, preparation is all." You know, and he's a preparer and a very meticulous one. So I learned that.
You've had a lot. You had a lot of theatrical experience, obviously, in the Lyric Belfast. You had in the Abbey in Dublin.
The Abbey Theatre, yeah.
Now. What got you into films? Did somebody discover you? Did John Borman see you for Excalibur? What happened?
Yeah, I was doing a production of Mice and Men, John Steinbeck's play, playing Lenny, the big thick fella. And John came, it was directed by Ray McAnally, God rest him, who's dead now.
And with whom you acted in The Mission.
In The Mission, yeah. He directed it, and it was a wonderful production, and John came along to see it, and he was getting Excalibur together at the time he was casting it. And so I was in the pub throwing back pints of Guinness, and
rightly so.
Aye, and he approached me, and you know, we talked, and he sent me a script, and I phoned him up, said, I don't want to play that part, I want to play this part. And I wasn't aware of the etiquette involved, so actually Gabriel Byrne got the part I wanted to play, but that's how it started, sure.
Yeah, your pals in the theatre, how do they feel about you saying, right, well, the way to to achievement in acting, or the way to get what I want, is to go to Hollywood, live there, and become a film star.
I just wanted to work in film, Terry, and you know, 3-4 years ago they weren't making films in this country, and they were certainly doing miniseries, but that all came from Hollywood. It was all Hollywood money. And the British actors got the breadcrumb parts, it has to be said, and you would go into a waiting room and you'd see some magnificent actors, Frank Finlay, people like that, of that caliber, sitting waiting for hours in order to go in and, you know, read for some small part or something. So I'm not married, I've no real responsibility, so I packed a suitcase and just headed out there, and I seem to hit it at the right time.
Do you like it out there? I mean, we've just returned from that, we're recording some
Right,
shows.
I heard, yeah.
But I'm, you know, it would seem a man of your, well, you are very relaxed and a laid-back kind of fellow, so I suppose that's right for Los Angeles, but it's a kind of company town, isn't it, where everybody talks about the films all the time. I mean, I would have thought somebody like you would find it a bit difficult to get attuned to that kind of atmosphere.
I do, Terry, and it's a constant battle. With me it is. It really is, for me to kind of hold on to my own integrity of who I am and why I was an actor. But I avoid all, I don't hang out with actors or actresses. Well,